by James Creedon. Good evening to you,
Evening,
James.
Tom.
Let's start, shall we, with what is, of course, our top headline story, has been for a few days now. Events in Kobani. What's the online world saying?
All right, just a quick look, first of all, at the Turkish media covering, of course, the clashes that have taken place in the last 24 hours between Kurds, Islamists and the Turkish police. Hurriyet Daily News, which has an English language version, has dozens of photos, Tom, from across the country showing the violence and the clashes that are the consequence of the current tensions over what's happening in Kobani. Also, such clashes in cities in Europe as well, in particular Hamburg in the north of Germany, where there were 14 injuries last night following clashes between Kurdish protesters and pro-Islamic State organisation protesters. Meanwhile, here in France, a protest in the city of Marseille was cancelled or was not allowed to go ahead by the prefecture down there, and that led to some controversy because a delegation of Kurds who were seeking to organise this demonstration were told by a senior police officer to get out of here. Marseille and the French people don't care. This is causing a racket in Marseille, etc. In any case, it made a lot of headlines in the French press, and he was forced to apologise for what sounded like not very compassionate approach. The Turkish media also talking about here Iran, which has taken an extremely pro-Kurdish stance, pro-Kobani stance, and slamming the world for its passivity. Iran also has an official Twitter account at Iran, and you can see they're employing the activist hashtags Save Kobani and hashtags such as that, Tom. So interesting to see the official Twitter account of the Iranian state taking such a clear position on this.
Indeed, and very sad indeed for those residents of Kobani and the surrounding area. But some confusion, is there not, on the social media with regard to whether or not a commander from the Islamic State organisation had been killed or not?
That's right. I mean, I guess you often see a lot of confusion on social media, claims and counterclaims, especially when there are conflicts such as this going on. An Islamic State organisation commander by the name of Umar Shishani is said to have been killed by Kurdish combatants, and this is apparently the 6th time the Kurdish sources have claimed to have killed Shishani. So I guess that means that it hasn't been reliable in the past. Is it reliable this time? Who knows? But these are certain tweets that are claiming that by the Kurdish YPG and also by other sources across social media. Meanwhile, on the Russian social network vKontakte, according to this article in Radio Free Europe's website, such claims are being completely dismissed. So are the airstrikes that are said to have taken place. And these pro-ISO accounts are saying that no ISO militants were harmed by the Western attacks. So clearly there isn't a huge amount of agreement between those two sources that I was just talking about there on vKontakte and pro-Kurdish sources on Twitter.
And finally, you've picked out a video for us, which is a video made by authorities in Australia aimed at combating what appears to be a wave of Islamophobia. Tell us more.
That's right. Let's take a look at some of these pictures because they are quite shocking. What is happening here is that there is an attempt to provoke members of the public into coming to the defence, I suppose, of certain Muslim citizens who are being basically harassed by this guy wearing a baseball cap over the fact that they're wearing Muslim attire, that they're carrying a bag, what's in the bag, etc. Let's take a look at one extract to see how regular Australians reacted to this sort of provocation.
Bloody Muslims, everywhere you go, you blow stuff up. Do you see these people? Like, look at how he's dressed.
Everybody has a right to be here. Don't you dare speak to people like that. How dare you?
Do you support these people?
Yes. Why not? Free people. These people belong here too, as much as we do. All right?
Seriously.
So, if you don't like it, go live somewhere else. But
Whatever.
These people belong here. He's a kid. How dare you? How dare you do that to him? Go on,
Whatever.
Go live somewhere else if you can't accept this.
Yes, no? So for Islamic Awareness Week, that is a video entitled Islamophobia, and it has the stamp of authorities in Australia. So I suppose in the current climate, with so much talk of Islamic State militants, it is worth, I suppose, being mindful too of the fact that creates a climate that videos like that are trying to combat, Tom.
It was a very moving video indeed. Thank you very much for that. James Creedon, that was Media Watch. It's time now for Focus here on France 24.